The Harlem Renaissance included the literary arts. Let's go to the thought bubble. Langston Hughes was one of the most famous poets of the day. He was born in Joplin, Missouri in 1901 and lived in a variety of places across the United States, from Illinois to Ohio to New York City, where he spent a year at Columbia University. He also traveled abroad to Europe and Africa while working as a seaman. In 1926, he published his first book of poetry, The Weary Blues, while living in Washington, D.C. He finished his education at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, which was a historically black university where he felt like he had more support than he did at Columbia. Langston Hughes' poetry was unique because it reflected both his personal experience as a black man living in America and the experiences of working-class black people across the country. He strived to reflect what he thought of as the authentic black experience and refused to make black life look happier or less painful than it actually was for so many. And because of this, Hughes had many critics. Many black intellectuals believed that Hughes was portraying black Americans in a bad light. But in his autobiography, Hughes responded, "The Negro critics and many of the intellectuals were very sensitive about their race in books, and still are. In anything that white people were likely to read, they wanted to put their best foot forward, their politely polished and cultural foot, and only that foot." Hughes wasn't daunted by the criticism and believed that his work showed black life and America for what it was. He wasn't interested in hiding anything from anyone. Thanks, Thought Bubble. Hughes wrote in his essay, The Negro Artist and the Racial Mountain, quote, "We younger Negro artists who create now intend to express our individual dark-skinned selves without fear or shame. If white people are pleased, we are glad. If they are not, it doesn't matter. We know we are beautiful and ugly too." One of my favorite poems of his is entitled Harlem, which goes, "What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?" Langston Hughes was one of many famous black writers during the Harlem Renaissance. In fact, there were so many that a special issue of the Survey Graphic, a social science and culture journal, was produced in 1925 to commemorate the impact of Harlem on the American literary landscape.